So you're playing the piano, you're going along just fine, and then you hit a trill. And it's like, whoa, this is really, really hard. You end up freezing up or you get stuck, your trill hand gets all tight, and you lose your ability to play rhythmically and maybe even without any sense of balance or beauty. This is something I see in my students all the time. Everything else in the piece can be beautiful and easy, but then when they come to a trill, there's a lot of uncertainty and they just can't play it smoothly. But I have great news for you. Trills are not as hard as you think. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips for how to improve your trills at the piano, and by the end of the video, you should have some strategies that you can apply to your own practicing so you can gain facility and be able to play your trills faster and with a lot more ease. Just so we know what we're all talking about, this is an example of a trill. Typically, trills are not written out in music, and that I think is a source of a lot of the uncertainty. We just see a symbol like TR, or we see different ornament symbols. This video is about how to smoothly play trills and improve your technique while doing so. So let's get started. Tip number 1 for better trills is use rotation to play them. Rotation is a motion that we make in piano technique that goes like this. It's similar to when you open a door or when you screw in a light bulb. It's this twisting motion of the hand. And as you can see, I can do this motion very, very quickly. You can try this yourself at home. Just put your hand up and twist like this. Notice my elbow is staying still. Notice my shoulder is staying relaxed. Contrast that with this. It is much easier to do this faster than to do this really, really fast. And that is why we want to use rotation when we play trills. The way to apply that to trills is to slightly fix your fingers in place so that they're not super limp and floppy. And as you play the trill, rock your hand from left to right, left, right. Now, obviously, my motion is very large here because I'm demonstrating, but that's not a bad way to start. Just practice rotation. You can practice between black keys and white keys, between black keys and black keys, between white keys and white keys, all the different combinations. And focusing on having the fixed fingertips, relaxed thumb, relaxed elbow, relaxed shoulder, relax your jaw, relax everything really, except just have slightly firm fingertips. We don't want to be floppy. This is what it looks like if it's floppy. I don't get any sound. So that's why the fingertips have to be slightly set. Using rotation will greatly improve your ability to play faster and easier trills. Tip number 2 for better, faster trills is to skip fingers when you are choosing your fingering for the trill. What I mean by that is play the trill with finger 1-3, 1-3, 1-3, 1-3 instead of 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, or play it with 2-4, 2-4, 2-4 instead of 2-3, 2-3, 2-3. I'll show you what that looks like. Here's 1-2 on C to D, 1-2, 1-2. And here's 1-3. When I use fingers that are not adjacent to each other, it allows me to rotate more freely and actually rotate more quickly because it's balancing different parts of the hand. Here's what it looks like to do 2-4 instead of 2-3. I'll do it from C sharp to D sharp. Here's 2-3. So you can kind of see that my pinky is going up in the air, my fourth finger is kind of standing up, my thumb is getting a little tight. I can do it, but 2-4 allows my hand to relax and rely more on rotation to play it. This doesn't mean to say that you will never want to play trills using the fingers 1-2 or 2-3 or 3-4. Using the fingers 1-3, 1-3 or 2-4, 2-4 as a default to play trills will help you play trills with more speed and facility. Tip number 3 for faster trills is to relax the other fingers. A lot of times students will play their trills with their pinky straight out like this, or they'll curl under with their 4th and 5th fingers. Both of those hand positions means that there's quite a lot of tension in this part of the hand. If you start playing your trills with rotation, and if you start experimenting with skipping fingers, you might find that some of that tension will naturally go away. But what you need to do when you're playing a trill, and if you start to see your pinky come out like this, is focus on what muscles are contracting that are making that happen. So when I'm doing that, I feel the muscles right here kind of like freeze up. and make my pinky stick out. And so take a moment when your hand is on the keys and just relax and notice what that feels like. Notice that in order to make that pinky go down, you have to relax some muscles in your hand. And notice how that feels inside your hand. It's about a kind of self-awareness of how the muscles feel and how it feels when you're tight and how it feels when you're relaxed. The same thing when you're curling under. Play the thumb. And if your tendency is to like start off normal and then start to do that, do it really slowly and then just consciously focus on, because when I curl under, what I'm doing is I'm gripping in the palm of my hand and these muscles are contracting. So if your tendency when you play trill is to go like that and start to curl, do it slowly and notice when you're starting to want to do that and consciously relax that. Feel what it's like in your hand. Do it slowly a bunch of times. Maybe spend even just 5 focused minutes on it every day, really thinking about how does this feel, becoming very self-aware of how it feels inside your hand. Then you can start to release those muscles consciously. When you have these physical habits at the piano that are holding you back, the way to fix them is not by sheer force of will and just saying, stop it. You have to actually figure out, where are you contracting? How does that feel? How do you want it to feel? How do you want the fingers to be working? And what does that feel like? So getting comfortable with a different sensation inside your hand while you're playing. Really working on decreasing the tension in the other fingers of your hand and relaxing them, making sure they're not curled or lifted excessively, will help you play trills with more ease and speed. Tip number 4 is to stay close to the keys. When you're playing a trill, you want to have a lot of speed and efficiency. We need to focus on economy of motion, playing with as little extra, excessive, unneeded motion as possible. I'm going to do a trill on C to D in the white keys. So I can play this pretty fast. Notice that when I trill, I'm staying very close to the key and I'm actually not leaving the key. I'm letting the key push my finger up. It's kind of how it feels. And if I were to lift my fingers off the key like this, what I'm trying to do is go farther because I'm lifting my finger a little bit off the key. That means that I'm trying to go farther in a short amount of time. Therefore, it's going to be harder to play that as fast. Here's what it looks like with 2/4. So that's another reason that skipping fingers is helpful, because when I do this, my tendency is to want to have my fingers leave the keys. So stay very, very close to the keys when you're doing your trills. Staying close to the keys is going to help you play your trills way more efficiently and with better economy of motion, and therefore it will help you play them faster and with more ease. Tip number 5 to improve your trills is to practice your trills slowly and melodically. A lot of times, people who play the piano from music, as in classical pianists, we see a trill marking in the score, and because it's not written out, it causes a kind of internal freak out. We see the trill and we think it just has to go fast, and so we kind of seize up, we freeze up when we see it. And the thing that people don't realize about a trill is that it is simply an improvised ornament that should also be played melodically, just like everything else you're playing. So when you practice a trill, make sure to not just throw your hand at it and be like, okay, I gotta play it fast. A trill consists of 2 notes played melodically, etc. So if you practice it slowly, that will really help you, because just like anything else, you need to play it slowly and accurately before you can speed it up and play it faster. I have an exercise for you to work on your trills. This is my favorite trill exercise that I share with my students. Take out your trusty metronome, and I usually do this exercise on 60 beats per minute. What we're going to do is we're going to do 1 note per click. We're going to go 2 notes per click. We're going to do 3 notes per click, 4 notes per click, 5 notes per click, etc., getting faster and faster, eventually moving toward an unmeasured trill. And we're going to do each one 4 times. I'll show you exactly what I mean here. Turning it on to 60. Now I'm going to do 1 note per click 4 times. I'm doing C and D in the right hand. 2. Now I'm going to do 2 notes per click 4 times. 2, 3. Now I'm going to do 4 notes. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. And then move into something that's more unmeasured. When I talk about playing a trill melodically, you should know how many notes you're going to play in the final version. So we have G minor in the left hand, Alberti bass, and let's say I'm playing a long trill. That sounds too slow, right? Because that's 2 notes per 1 note. Now we'll do 4 notes. I am playing 4 notes per note in the left hand, but it sounds fast. Now this is what sounds like unmeasured. A lot of times people have a difficult time playing an unmeasured trill, which simply means that you are not relating it proportionally to anything you're doing in the other hand. And the reason for that is because then the hands kind of go their own way, and the hand that is not playing the trill often becomes unrhythmic. Often you hear things like this. That kind of thing. So that's why measuring it, getting it attached to it, so 1, I'm doing 4 notes. That sounds more continuous, and yet it is still measured. Practicing your trills slowly and melodically and gradually increasing the speed will definitely help you be able to improve your trills, and remembering to skip fingers, to use rotation, to stay close to the keys, and to be sure to relax the other fingers and other parts of your hand in conjunction with that slow practice will definitely help you. If you're here watching this video about trills, that means you're interested in piano technique. And if you're interested in piano technique, I made an entire playlist of videos that are the foundational technical principles that I teach to my collegiate and graduate level pianists. You can watch that playlist by clicking right up there in the corner. If you found this video helpful, please remember to like it and subscribe to my channel and share it with somebody who you think it could help. This helps me reach more people. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck with your trills. They're really not as hard as you think. And happy practicing!